Hi Aries, here's a general look at your solar chart for September 2011. Every year at this time the Sun comes into a very practical area of your solar chart. So this is the stitch in time saves 9 part of the annual solar cycle, where all those basic physical material aspects of your life on Earth are going to be highlighted. You may be therefore trying to get things running smoothly, maintaining things, repairing things, or getting them maintained or repaired, looking at the to-do list, having to juggle more detail, thinking about more detail and the intricacies of things. But also this energy in this area of your chart is about your work, your job, so that's going to be the workplace, co-workers, or people you work for, or people who are working for you in some way, providing a service, or with you, as I say, or it can be around venues. Overall, you early Arians have been sampling, the flavor of sudden and unexpected changes, kind of upsetting the apple cart in your lives. This is maybe going to be a picking up the pieces or kind of consolidating exercise for a certain section of you Aries, which is going to help pave the way for better conditions in the future. It's got a very domestic, at home, right in your own backyard feel to it as well, for much of this month to do with family connections as well. So at times you'll be tackling the devil in the detail, but actually you won't be on your own, because you've got a really supportive energy in that area until mid-month. It means that you and someone could team up, or somebody could be a great enabler for you. It could be to do with your work, but it also could be to do with a health situation, your health or somebody else's. And there's likely to be willing hands around, who are there to just ease things for you, related to health matters, but also related to the job or the tasks that you have in front of you to do. And it's some kind of friendship or love relationship, could be centered around a very practical working environment, or health-related environment. You could also be in training or familiarizing yourself with a new technique or set of ideas related to, which might be quite unconventional in fact, related to how you work or the work you're doing, or in fact it could be like the alternative complementary area related to health, and you sort of blowing the dust off your habitual ideas and really opening your eyes to how much that could benefit you, for some of you. And then this is a very good month actually for relationships across the board. Obviously we can always fall foul of however good a time we're in, but Venus is moving into your relationship area from the 14th, which means that your relationships, whether they're businessy ones and formal, or they're informal, or whether they're very close, those relationships should get a boost. Or at least if you tap that energy, it will lessen the pressure, because actually your relationship area has got a lot of pressures, which you can feel sometimes as quite a challenge between you and another, one-to-one. And that's a very long cycle. But this very quick, fleeting transit of Venus should lift things a bit, should ease things a bit. and allow one-to-one exchanges to become lighter, warmer, perhaps more romantic, and particularly from the 18th, perhaps more fun and playful, and even materially beneficial for you. In fact, the whole month, through work or related to health or through somebody else, you could be on the receiving end of material benefit, whether that's just, cash, or it could be other useful resources or other contributions coming in. And it might be in a big way, it might be in a small way, but the energy is there. It depends on your individual natal chart. So until mid-month, you could be very busy, or actually it's until the 18th, you could be very busy around the base of operations, outside, inside, lots of demands on you physically, but also more on you emotionally. You could be really in quite a lot you could be in closer touch with your emotions, and the focus falls upon family dynamics, family members, perhaps extended family like your neighborhood, or some sort of special tribal kind of connections you have with others, and anything that's going on right in your own backyard. So being very proactive in and around the home base or community, or kind of using that home base as a launch pad into, the wider world, like I'm doing here. But it's physical. So you may be actually, putting physical effort into whatever it is, lifting, digging, moving things around right in your own backyard. That's up until the 18th, inside, outside, as I say. And then from the 18th, a more playful vibe enters in. It's more bringing out your inner child. You get the chance to party. You get the chance to have more fun, anyway, at what you're doing, and you will maybe be spending more time with children, or romantic partners, or just, nearest and dearest partners, but doing things that you enjoy. The tendency is that you'll have more access to entertaining type activities. And there is a danger even that you'll overindulge and burn the candle at both ends, because you kind of throw yourself into things 1,000%, and throw caution to the winds. So just, be sensible. But leisure pursuits, hobbies, speculative interests, innovative type activities, and you feeling more adventurous and not backwards and coming forwards in love relationships. Maybe there's some admiring glances being exchanged, but it's a good energy for, as I say, interacting in a kind of a very dynamic way with young people, children, also pets, animals as well, but also sometimes there being a bit of a conflict possible there between you and a romantic partner, or perhaps it is one of your offspring, or just younger people. Right, so now every month I talk about the slow moving outer planets, and from Jupiter out to Pluto. And I'll do so again now, but you'll also find the copy, the basic copy, on my website, so you can always read it, and it's just my take on it, really in brief. But here, verbally in brief, well, Jupiter has moved out of your sign into the next sign, Taurus, and that's going to really give you opportunities, the green light, regarding finances, possessions, resources, property, and your physical condition, or the physical condition of somebody that you are concerned about, over several months, right up till June next year. So this is a beneficial, fair wind blowing through that area there, and it's all about you seeing the potential in things and you being able to maximize that potential on those material, basic, practical material levels, and seizing at something. Maybe it's unconventional, especially you early Arians, but because the Jupiter energy is likely to, land something in your lap, but it needs your shrewdness or your in your imagination to see the potential and what you can make of something. And you can do very well with the Jupiter energy in this part of your chart. You can, it can improve cash flow no end, and it can also teach you by hands-on doing, and help you to walk your talk, and get some proof of your worth, from money in the hand, or people giving you validation and recognition. So overall, it's a cycle for reaching for better things materially and physically. Big things, like a big piece of property or a small piece of kit, whatever it is. And improving your lines of supply, because this is a very physical area. It could be to do with your physical body, your physical well-being, and you looking at what you put through that body of yours, lines of supply, remedies, medicines, as well as just ordinary everyday food. So you looking at the quality there, and maybe you deciding that you want to put more high quality or life force energy through your body, and maximize therefore your overall power and ability, because you're taking care of yourself physically. And maybe you'll be interested looking at natural resources and how to take advantage of those regarding electricity, water, and other basic the basic stuff which we all rely on, and without which we wouldn't be able to manage, and looking at that in a very different kind of a light, and being open to ideas which are very progressive, particularly you early Arians. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Saturn has been giving you a bit of grief and a bit of hassle in the one-to-one relationship area for quite a while now, and it will be there into autumn 2011. It can be that it's just all too much, or others are put more burden on your shoulders, or it might be that there isn't anybody there, and that you feel that acutely, that you don't have that support, you don't have that sharing and matching of your energies with someone. You're feeling out of sync with it, either because you're with someone and feel lonely, or you're without someone and feel lonely. You will be really, actually what this transit is about, getting to know yourself, getting to know what you need for yourself, who you need for yourself. And you can only do that by being on your own, really. Or taking more time to go inwards into, asking questions and getting some answers about what your needs and requirements are at this stage in your life. Those of you doing energy work, or those working one-to-one with the public, or one-to-one just in general, but with the public as well, you need to get very much into the center of your beingness and your higher self energy as much as you can, which is neutral. It's not emotionally involved at all. The prime directive is not get emotionally involved, but you can learn an awful lot, and you can climb the ladder of success through your interaction one-to-one with certain others. Now, certain others might be great teachers for you during this phase. It's just kind of shifting your way of perceiving to realize that somebody who, on the one hand, is being a pain in the neck, on the other hand, is teaching you a great deal, which is valuable, but maybe sometimes we don't realize that at the time. We only see it when we look back over our shoulders and we're further down the line. Anyway, you Arians born 3rd to the 10th of April, or with Aries rising 13 to 20 degrees, will feel the influence of Saturn mostly this month. Some people who are causing, because of their rigidity, their stubbornness, their problems over which they have no control, ignorance, whatever it is, it might not be their fault, you know. You've got to remember that as well. So, yeah, it's a fine line to know actually how to walk that line in one-to-one relationships at the moment, but you're learning a lot from it. Now, as I say, Uranus is very strong. It's in your sign. It's going to be there for 7 years. So change is in the wind. Uranus is known as the awakener, and this is going to raise your awareness, raise your consciousness, but it will do that by putting a fast one on you at times. And some of you will already feel like, you know, what's going to happen next? Things that you don't expect can happen. It's very difficult to predict as well. So it's about being flexible, it's about being supple, it's about understanding that nothing is permanent. In fact, the only permanent thing in our universe is change. And, you know, change is really coming to call on you, and it will change you things outside, but also, and physically possibly, but also as you manage it and as you cope with it and as you roll with it, it will be changing you mentally and changing you emotionally. You should be feeling experimental with this. Allow yourself to be feeling experimental. You know, if one way isn't working with a certain set of conditions, then go outside of the box. You know, think laterally. Allow it. Give yourself permission, because that is meeting the vibrational criteria of this Uranian energy, and you could do quite well if you do that. If you're very much, you know, stuck in a rut of tradition, and I can't know the context, but sometimes we are or persuaded by the status quo that the traditional route is the only way to go with something, and it's going to be impossible any other way. But really, I have to say, if Uranus is making an aspect to your any of your important points in your natal chart, including your sun, then you should be more innovative yourself and realize that you have freedom of choice. So there's going to be some surprises along the way, and you've just got to be flexible and also experimental, and allow yourself to be alternative or unconventional in your approach. And you Arians born the 21st to the 27th of March, or those with around about 6 degrees of Aries rising, will feel this vibration mostly this month. Neptune has reversed into late Aquarius. That means that you could be feeling a little confused about certain friendships or members of your social circle, or when I say confused, maybe cross wires, or something's up in the air, or to do with a special group which kind of functions in a little bubble of its own with a common interest. It could be that you have more to do with an institution of some kind, where you get this team of specialist people who are all working together. You're mingling with them for some reason, and but don't allow, you know, the peer pressure or pressure from others to knock you off your path. And you Arians born 17th to 19th of April, or with the last 2 to 3 degrees, or 2 degrees really, of Aries rising, will feel this energy most this month. And of course, you may or may not know there's a very radical, life-changing force coming at your sign from Capricorn. That's the planet Pluto. And you have just got to realize that this is about evolution. This is a once-in-a-lifetime evolutionary force, and it may not be the only time this happens, but this is a very, very strong, so that was to emphasize it, a very, very strong force which is evolving you, manifesting around you as endings and beginnings, and some of those endings will, you may not agree with. You don't want to let go of that relationship or that job or that place, but the writing's on the wall. This is about evolving you as a soul, not as a member particularly of the human race, born in a certain time of history, but you as a soul, you as a spirit. So it's really, really radical stuff, and it will change you as you go through this, particularly those Arians born 23rd to 27th of March, or with around about 1 to 6 degrees of Aries rising, going to feel that most strongly this month. But it is a very slow, subtle one as well, and it can make you touch deep places in yourself at moments. So it deepens you and it matures you, and that's called evolution, part of evolution anyway. And from the 22nd, you'll like to be cooperating and liaising more with others, and as I say, it is looking pretty good for all love relationships, business type dealings as well, and close relationships can bloom and really start to blossom then. And that's it from me for September. If you know your rising sign, listen to that too. Also your moon sign, give that a try, because it'll add to or subtract from what I've said here. And I will see you the next time.